What's up, guys? Welcome to this year's rankings. Want to thank you all for another great year. Let's get into it. So, let's dive into it. 12th, tie. 12th in standings, 12th in points. Um, your bright spot, I mean, you gave it your all. Um, that's really it. Um, Weakness, calf tendonitis, McCaffrey. He really got you there. You kind of were doomed from the start. A little bit of bad luck, but better luck next year. All right, next up at 11, we have Chris. So ball don't lie again. 11th in standings, 11th in points. You had a couple hits. I mean, Henry, Lamb, they were good picks. Um, where you went wrong, um, you had some bad luck with the injuries. Ayuk going out, not great. And just some general underperformers. Stroud hasn't been great this year. Singletary got his job taken by Tracy. Overall, just not your year, but you'll be back. Next up at 10, ball don't lie, 10th in standings, 10th in points, CJ. There was one point where I really thought you were gonna make the jump, go into the playoffs, and maybe have a chance to win. But you just shit the bed. Alvin's pretty good. Your lineup's not bad, but you had some injuries with Tyreek and Nico, and let's be honest, just some mismanagement. Seen a couple times you haven't set your lineup. When Tyreek was out, you should have been hitting the phones trying to improve the team, but you stay complacent, and now you're in 10th. Up next at 9, we got Jake. Um, ninth in standings, 7th in points. Really not a bad team at all. Just kind of um, had some general underperformers. Joe Mixon knocked it out of the park with that pick. Allen, can't go wrong with him, obviously. Just the biggest weakness for you and what I feel like potentially might have killed your season, even though it's not over yet. Um, a lot of huge bust. Um, Notably Waddle, Olave, and Keenan Allen. I mean, I don't think they could have been worse picks. Unlucky. I mean, it is what it is. It happens. But hey, you still have a chance. Keep fighting. Next up, we got Shane. Eighth in standings, eighth in points. Excuse me. When I was looking at this lineup, I thought about it. I was like, I can't hate on it, but there's nothing I'm really gonna say I love about it. It's just the definition of mid, which honestly I gotta give you credit for because typically you're not even at that point. So hey, keep pushing. You might make it. That was a pretty crazy choke job this past week. That was kind of funny though. Okay, next seventh we got Zach. Um, Seventh in standings, fourth in points. Your Bengal boys, Chase and Chase Brown, um, those could win you a championship. Let's be honest. I mean, that's scary. You had some really good picks in the mid to late rounds, and then your weakness, just inconsistent QB play from Mahomes. Kind of hard to predict that, but it's the way it is. And then your just lack of a true number one running back. I know Chase Brown is probably approaching that with the injury to Moss, but overall, I think that's what keeps you from the top is just that true lack of a number one. Next up, we got your boy. Hate to say it, expected a lot more out of this team. Um, right in the middle point, like a little over halfway through the season. Six in standings, six in points. Had some really good hits late in the draft, in the middle, and free agency. Had Tracy, Jawan Jennings. I mean, Dowdle. Those are some really good picks to make up for some just truthfully embarrassing picks in the draft. I mean, ETN round two, Laporta, Anthony Richardson. I mean, it is a miracle that I am even in the playoff hunt, let alone not in last place. Next up, we got Leo. Just an incredibly solid team this year. You definitely have a chance to make some noise. Ball don't lie. Fifth in points, fifth in standings. Your receivers are just asinine. I mean, probably the best in the league. What I do not like about your team, or at least I think is a slight weakness, is you don't really have that true number one, like, star running back. Not saying your running backs are bad, they're pretty good, but I just think that to win a championship, you might need that star running back. Who knows? Maybe hit the phones at the deadline, make it happen. Next up, we got Malone, fourth in standings right now, which is really good. He's usually around 14th, um, third in total points. Just a really good year from Malone, and you got to feel good for him. Just had his beautiful baby. Um, just a great time to be Malone right now. Slam dunk pick with Lamar in the middle rounds. His team's getting super hot. I mean, he just put up 10,000 points, just obliterated Babbitt. But one thing I noticed, little bit thin in the flex. You got Quentin Johnson and Jalen Warren in there right now. An injury or two, and I think that makes your team a little bit less attractive. Maybe hit the phones, hit free agency, see if you can add to that depth. Third, we got Nicky J, D Generation X. He's third in the standings, eighth in total points, which shocked me because he's got a really good team. Um, this bench could probably be a starting lineup in fantasy, and then his running backs are just out of this world. I'd say the biggest weakness is he's had some underperformers at wide receiver. Devo has been really mid lately, and then secondly, just a really risky trade when his team was looking really good. And hey, it happens. We all take risks. Sometimes they don't pay off, but I think you would like to have that trade back. Second, we got Joe. He's a mainstay towards the top here, unfortunately. Um, but he's first right now. He's looking like he could get that bye if he has a good finish to the year. Second in total points. His receivers are unbelievable. He drafted James Conner, I think, in like the fifth round, which is incredible. But one weakness I see, you're an injury to one of those running backs away from really having to probably scrape the waiver wire, and that really would put a hit into your lineup. Um, you know, Another guy, hit the fence, see if you can get a running back. First, Sal, love what you've done with the place. You've never really been bad in this league, but I feel like this is the first time I remember you were probably the favorite to win. Um, right now you're in second, but I could easily see you taking the top spot by the end. You have the most points. Your QB room is just ridiculous. There's not a single weak spot in your lineup. The receivers, running backs, just stacked. Yeah, like I said, I can't point out a weakness. So finally, just the update to the bets we had at the draft. Um, Most of them are settled. Chick and Sal to win the championship still open, and then Zach, looks like you got your Tyler not to finish in the top three. All right, boys, let's see what happens. Good luck to all you. Thanks.